Triple H is headlining the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025. WWE are hot on recent signings, and we've got a big spoiler as 3 absent AEW stars have returned. It's time for the news. WWE yesterday holding a big town hall meeting for staff and some talent as well, and some big things happening during that town hall meeting. As the session was wrapping up, the biggest news of all, Shawn Michaels' music hits, Sexy Boy comes out, and then the Undertaker comes out to his music as well. Triple H, he's there, he's like, what the hell is going on? I can't believe it. And Michaels announced that Triple H is going to be headlining the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025, making an executive decision in the process. This was reported just a couple of hours beforehand that this was going to be happening by PW Insider Elite. Triple H apparently caught off guard, obviously hadn't checked Twitter, saying...
He said, from a guy that usually has something to say about everything, I'm speechless. I'm going to kill Nick Khan when we leave here. If you see somebody flying off the roof, just ignore it. I don't know what else to say, just thank you.
Oh,
what a guy. He does deserve it.
You know what? I've seen so many knobheads on Twitter going like, oh man, the ego on this guy. Right, yeah, fair play. Triple H has obviously got an ego. So would I if I was in his position. I'm married to Stephanie McMahon. But... First of all, it's a completely deserved solo induction. Obviously, he's in there already as part of D-Generation X, but we're talking about a multi-time world champion, a multi-time world champion in WWE who has absolutely done it all, deserves to be in there on his own. You want to talk about like the ego, and he keeps putting himself on TV, and he's like the face of the company. Listen to the pop he gets every time.
Absolutely.
Like, people love seeing him. I'd go bonkers if Triple H was there at a live show that I was going to, and I can't blame them for putting him on TV so much, or I can't blame himself for putting himself on TV so much, because given everything that's happened with Vince, I think you really want to hammer home that, hey, there's new leadership here. So you've got all these new viewers or lapsed fans that are coming back to WWE because of the Netflix deal, and some of those might be aware of some of the controversy that has happened surrounding Vince. You sort of want to go, he's not here anymore.
Clean slate.
This is the guy, and get as much video footage of someone who isn't Vince doing big things as well. I have no problem with this at all. And like, as you say, it's fully deserved.
Absolutely. And like, you know, when we hear about the wrestlers backstage as well, they always have like really nice things to say about him as well. He seems to really care about the talent and really care about wanting to hone in on their sort of their best qualities and try and make them into superstars. And I think he does a really good job in that, especially with, you know, some of the people at the top right now as well. I think it's well deserved. And I always like the Hall of Fame because I like the stories. I'm a stories kind of man. I like to hear about the things like backstage or little anecdotes here and there that have happened. And I think it'll be really fun one to listen to.
Yeah. Michael's inducting him?
Yeah, I reckon so. Michaels and Taker, do you reckon they do too as well?
Yeah?
Maybe.
Nah, Michaels.
Just Michaels.
Yeah. WWE are said to be hot on a few recent signings during this town hall meeting. WWE President Nick Khan officially confirming, first of all, that Jordan Grace has signed a contract with the company. We all knew that anyway. And he expressed that he had high hopes for her future and what she means to WWE, really putting her over strong in that. And they also really shone a spotlight on Penta as well, showcasing a reel of his recent stuff on Raw. His past wrestling experience was acknowledged as well, and they said that they see something very special in Penta, especially with how much attention he garnered on social media. It's got to be it's a massive rub, isn't it? To be like in front of all the staff and the talent that are there, and to like have a video package played about how important you are to the company.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've heard reports as well that he's looking to get a significant push as well. I think it's telling of WWE too that they definitely have their ear to the ground in terms of people who are hot on, I guess, social media and within the wrestling sphere, because I mean, that's the place to go, isn't it, to find who's popular and this, that, and the other these days. And like the fact that they're capitalizing on that, whereas once of a time they would have probably just completely ignored that kind of thing and stuck to their own.
As in the history of the wrestler.
Yes,
they might have acknowledged it on commentary a little bit, but they're really
absolutely,
making a big deal.
and rightly so too. Yeah, for sure.
Because he's done so much outside of WWE. Speaking of Stephanie McMahon, who I mentioned earlier, a new Stephanie McMahon project is in the works with WWE. This is PW Insider Elite revealing that a new project with Steph is in the works, which was announced to staff during that town hall meeting. She's apparently been working on a project similar to, and you'll have to forgive me here because I don't know what this is, ESPN's NFL series Peyton's Places. It says that this, the Peyton's Places, revisits seminal moments in NFL history through conversations with former players, coaches, and other key figures about football and its cultural impact. So if we swap that out for wrestling, that would be Stephanie McMahon revisits seminal moments in WWE history through conversations with former wrestlers, backstage agents, and other key figures about wrestling, sports entertainment, and its cultural impact. So that's what the show's going to be. There's no time frame on when this is going to be released at the moment, but it has been reported that she's been chatting away with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Cody Rhodes, and more as well. So Stephanie McMahon sort of back in the fold doing something WWE related. We've seen her pop up on TV a couple of times since her proper WWE departure, and it's good to see her back. Hopefully this is a stepping stone to her coming back and doing more stuff backstage, because she's you talk about people who are well loved backstage, and Stephanie's well up there.
Absolutely. And I guess something like a project like this as well just makes sense too, with all the stuff moving to Netflix, and then perhaps, as you were saying earlier, lapsed fans or maybe new fans getting to learn about the history of wrestling, or maybe the history of things that have happened since the last time somebody watched. I think that's always a good idea to do. And again, like, WWE do documentaries so well. So well. They're such incredibly produced pieces of content to watch, and this just makes all the sense. Like you said though, if it leads to something else for Stephanie, that'd be really cool.
One thing that I think is a little bit of a shame for hardcore wrestling fans with the Netflix deal is I think we're gonna see fewer documentaries that really take a deep dive into like more niche curiosities. I don't know how to put this right, but we're going to be seeing them produce really, really accessible shows for people who aren't maybe hardcore wrestling fans. So you'll get like the biggest Raw moments, the biggest WrestleMania moments, this thing, just like a history of WWE thing. Whereas on the network, we were treated to like Vlad the Superfan or the Bret Hart, Tom McGee hidden gem or Legends House and stuff like that. I think there's going to be a lot less of that happening, which I think is a shame for us, but I totally get why that would be the case. Charlotte Flair expected to make her return to WWE very, very soon. We might see it tomorrow night, might see it at the Rumble. Well, we're definitely going to see it at one of those. Charlotte Flair's coming back, and she has a new t-shirt out, which seems to suggest she's getting a new nickname and maybe a little bit of a hint at what her gimmick moving forward and what her the presentation of her character is going to be. So the t-shirt is a picture of Charlotte entering a private plane in pink attire. You saw that in the recent vignette. But over her eyes on the graphic, it says the words "Top Girl."
Like Top Gun?
Like Tom Cruise in Top Gun.
Is that wait?
She's a pilot. They're bringing back vocational characters.
We had that entrance of her where she was in the helicopter and she gets landed on top of the thing. Does she just drive a jet now and parachute?
Drive a jet.
Parachute into the stadium? I'm not too sure.
They got Netflix money. Every week she pops up on WWE main event, coming in, driving a jet.
I don't know.
To me, it looks, right? It really does look like a Tiffany Stratton t-shirt. Like if you squint, it could be either of them. A lot of people thinking that Charlotte Flair is going to go on to win the Rumble and then face Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. We're filming predictions very, very soon. It looks like a Tiffany thing, and it looks like those characters just
clashing.
Yeah, it really does make sense. We're going to finish off with a bit of a spoiler for this week's episode of Collision, because we saw 3 big AEW returns take place during that show. If you don't want to hear the spoilers, see you in a bit. Thanks very much for watching. But during those Collision tapings, the first match, who we got?
We got the Beast Mortos, which I'm very excited about. Following that match, Max Caster came out to a new theme. Obviously, the Acclaimed have split now. And he said he started a new open challenge segment where anybody can see if they can survive the best wrestler alive.
I like it. I like that Healy gimmick. I think it's good.
He does it so well, too.
Yeah.
Like, he really pulls it off. He's got that arrogance about him. That challenge was answered by Roosh as well, which is very exciting. And later in the night, Bandido made his return as well, which is really nice because he was away for injury for the longest time, came back and got a concussion.
Yeah,
and
thankfully,
it's been a short period of time since then to now. So yeah, really cool to see him back.
They're really, really stacking Collision lately.
Yes.
Like they're making a big deal of the show. And I always feel like AEW can't win with Collision in that they do big things like the Acclaimed breakup happened on Collision, Tony Storm recently happening on Collision as well. And people are going, oh, why are you doing that on the B show? And it's like, right, so as I say, they can't win. If you do big stuff on the B show, you get, oh, that should have happened on Dynamite. If you do nothing on Collision, it's like, why watch Collision?
Exactly. That was the whole sort of argument, I guess, towards the end of Rampage as well, wasn't it? People were like, why are you putting these big things on it? But it was like, well, they want to try and garner more viewers to watch this thing. But there you go.
There you go. We've got a big day ahead of ourselves, Andrew Hodkinson, and you can be a part of it as well. So as I say, after we finish filming another news video, we're going to go upstairs, we're going to film predictions. It's a really fun one. It's my favorite one of the year to do. Andrew's got a brilliant song. He's been bigging it up. He's been bigging it up on the way into filming
don't
this.
Say that.
Yeah,
I did not say it.
You need to see it. Not just that. At 2 p.m. today, we are going to be live streaming the Royal Rumble 2020 for our beautiful Patreon subscribers. It's going to be a really, really fun thing to do. So 2 p.m. Any Patreon tier that you're on, you'll be able to watch along with us. So do come and join the fun, and we will see you in a little bit. Take care of yourselves.